Live.
All right, we are live, and the New York Mets are taking their talents to South Beach. We didn't do a real Marlins series preview because we were too busy gloating over sweeping the New York Yankees. So we're going to do a little Marlins preview. Obviously, had a minor trade last night, and we're going to talk some trade deadline. There's already buzz on the Twitters right now going on. Khalil Lee was out of the lineup earlier tonight. Is he still out, Meek? They didn't throw him back in?
He's still out.
Okay, so we're gonna do the old barnacle emoji, whatever you guys want to do. It is trade season. Last night was my welcome back to the trade deadline, or like remember about your job. I woke up, I passed out around 8:30, checked my phone at 11:50, and saw Mets trade for, and I go, motherfucker, I missed it again. I had a bunch of missed text messages from the boys here. However, it wasn't a massive trade, a good trade nonetheless. I have gone to the point where I can't go on the Mets Twitter community anymore because they just complain too much, or there's too many fake rumors going around. It's craziness, and it's stir crazy. That's just what baseball is, and being a sports fan. It's just a good trade. How can anyone have a beef with this trade? They said it best. We replaced a pinch runner who we loved, Travis Jankowski, with an actual fourth outfielder that can do a bunch of stuff, can run, can hit, has power, can play defense, whatever you may need. Phil, our fucking baseball computer or baseball calculator, tell me about this trade. Tyler Naquin here.
So basically, he's replacing the Jankowski role to where it's not a left-handed outfielder off the bench. He's pretty quick. The difference is he can actually hit, though.
So the way fans were reacting, I had to look up his baseball reference. I'm like, is this a different Naquin than the guy I remember? Like 264, 12 home runs.
He's great versus righties, can play the outfield, helps him give Cano a break, helps him give Nemo a break. You can keep McNeil at second base. It's just another good player to have on the roster, and having too many good players, it's not a bad thing. And if you want to talk about the players they gave up, it's an 18 and 19-year-old. You're probably not going to hear their names for another 4 or 5 years at best if you're not anything. Look, if the Reds got gems out of Tyler Naquin, tip your cap to them, and the Mets can just get more prospects.
Yeah, at this point, I'll just take – I can't worry about these guys if we're going for it this year or next year, whatever it may be. These are the moves you have to make. It's Kelly Johnson. It's Juan Uribe, right? It's like it's not the sexy moves. Hopefully the Yo move is coming, but you still – like those guys played a role in 2015. These guys are going to play a role this year, God willing. So I just thought it was absolutely crazy. You said it perfect, Phil. Guy hits righties. Against lefties, we already have Marte and Canna, and we're going to get whoever this mystery bat is. Hopefully, that guy will be able to probably hit both just fine. So I couldn't believe that there were people bitching and moaning about this right now. I'm going to throw his splits up on the screen. 264 as a versus.
He cannot hit lefties. That's fine. He can hit righties. He can give other guys a break. We'll get a guy that can hit lefties. That guy's still coming.
Yeah, so and then the pitcher sounds like he's just going to probably move down to the minors for some depth. Is that right?
Oh yeah. So it initially broke from Robert Murray because I have Robert Murray alerts on because he actually does break some stuff. He first reported Philip Deal. I'm like, why is he reporting some minor league trade for the Mets? Is there something more to this? Then I see a Joel Sherman tweet that I'm blocked by. It's like, oh, we're getting Tyler Naquin too. So it's like that makes sense.
Yep. And the guys, I mean, prospect hugging when they're, Francisco Alvarez or guys who are at least on the top 100 list, I can understand a little. Worrying about guys that, may not even see like AA at some point of their lives, I just think it's bananas. And I went back and looked. That Kelly Johnson trade, it was Kelly Johnson and Juan Uribe. And let me see who they gave up. They gave up a pitcher. And they gave up a hitter. Or no, was it two pitchers? Anyway, this is bad radio. John Gant and Rob Whalen. Those are the two guys. Rob Whalen really didn't do much. Had a 6 ERA between the
I think
Braves.
Rob Whalen retired, then unretired.
Really? He pulled the MJ? And John Gant had made the bigs, pitched for the Cardinals for a few years, had a 2.4 ERA one season, 3.4, 3.6. Did you think about John Gant 1 minute of your life after all the joy Juan Uribe brought us? And not even talking on the field, just all the Coke stories was worth it in itself for John Gant to no longer be a New York Met. And those kind of arms you always like having, but I'm not going to worry about this when I have a guy who can actually drive a ball out of the ballpark or run the bases. I think that was a perfectly fine trade. So,
and it's also like Janko loved being the role player. He's like, you're never going to wear my jersey. Like rah team guy through and through. He knew his role. Now we got this guy who's literally going from living in the sewer to living in the penthouse. So he's going to be just happy as shit to be here. He doesn't care what his job's going to be. I don't know how many of those 12 home runs were in the bandbox that is Great American Ballpark. You might have to give me those numbers. So, like, maybe he'll be a gaps hitter more so in Citi Field than someplace else. But otherwise, as long as you're driving the ball and you're making contact.
Yeah, so let me see here. It splits home away, 4 home runs at home, 3 home runs away. 263 average at home, 228 away. Now I could go. Oh, here we go. Away as lefty, away versus righties, 3 home runs. Home versus lefties, 2 home runs. Home versus righties, 2 home runs. So it's like It's not like he's just a Coors guy, where he's nothing on the road and everything at home. Perfectly fine at Citi Field. I don't want him.
Jankowski, with all due respect, he's a great pinch runner. He hasn't had a hit since like May
3rd, I think Frank said.
May 3rd is his last hit.
By the way, shout out Phil. Phil and Frank were just talking just regular baseball, and they're talking about how Jankowski hadn't had a hit since then, and how they could still maybe get him down to AAA with options. And I was like, man, seeing Frank Fleming just talk some hardball on the timeline was a very weird thing. Instead of saying that they're never going to score another run again, they're never going to do anything.
And the funny part is, I was actually watching Reds Marlins in the cave yesterday with Frank, and Tyler Naquin hit a home run. Little did we know.
Little did we know. And I don't know if I don't have it here, but there was his like big moment. He had a walk-off inside the park home run, which was an unbelievable fucking moment for Naquin. So, and then the other thing, obviously, trade deadline coming up. Wilson Contreras wiped his Instagram of Cubs stuff. There was like 4 pictures. I never know if like these guys are like, no, I've never really used my Instagram before or not. But if that's your kind of if that's how you follow the baseball hot stove or the hot stove in general, you can get into that. Really not hearing much on that. Our boy Meek Phil pointed out here, he's not blocked by Ken Rosenthal, I learned, because he told us Ken Rosenthal tweeted this out. Mets have a scout watching the Red Sox tonight. If Contreras and Robinson is too steep, they go to JD Martinez and Christian Vasquez, and then they'd have to do some other moves to address the bullpen. I think we're pretty much fine with either of those options right now, right, boys?
Yep. And it's also that time of the year where you're watching the big guys that we're not going to get, that we need to make sure that they're not going to anybody that's going to boost them forward. So, like, these are perfect pieces for us, and we just got to make sure that those other pieces don't go where they can't go.
Yes, exactly. And we'll see what happens with Soto. We'll see. I just feel like it's been a while. Obviously, it's been a while since we've truly been invested in a deadline. Even last year with Javi, the team was kind of in no man's land, like it always seems to be right around this time. Even 2015, we were kind of in no man's land. I kind of always feel like there's going to be that one guy who comes out of nowhere potentially. And I don't know if it's going to be Ohtani, who isn't really even a surprise anymore. It's like if he got dealt, at least there's a inkling that it could happen. We'll see. Again, we're rooting against the Braves to do anything. We're rooting against the Dodgers, Padres, definitely the Yankees, because fuck them. And other than that, we'll see how it all shakes out. That's all I have for your trade stuff. Was there anything else you guys saw? No?
Not really, no.
All right, so now we'll actually talk about the games on the field going on. We're going down to Miami, as we said, 3-game series, 6:40 start tonight. So everyone remember, 6:40 start tonight, 6:10 on Saturday, 1:40 on Sunday. Mwah. I fucking love Florida. I love these goddamn games that are just a little bit earlier, makes life a little better. Bassett, Alcantara. This is our weekly Alcantara game. So hope we picked up something from the last time we played them and the time before and the time before that and the time before that and the time before that. Carrasco was originally set to face Rogers. Meek Phil broke to me that he got scratched or he got thrown on the IL. So that's a TBD. And they just put their one of their stud arms on the IL with Tommy John and Meyer. So I don't know who the hell the Marlins are throwing. I always figure that guy will be decent because that's just what the Marlins do. And then Taijuan Walker versus Pablo Lopez on Sunday.
Yeah, so
no Jazz. There's a bunch of players that
no Jazz, right? Birdie, no Soler. We face Sandy tonight. Well, I mean, we're scheduled to face Lopez on Sunday, but who knows if even he gets traded. That could be thrown up in the air. So the only definite in this series is Sandy tonight.
Yep, that is a great call. Basically, so yeah, no birdie. That's the most important thing because a Met killer who's also just like really good, and the way he kills the Mets where he can hit, but he can run, that's just pure fear 24/7 with him. Soler always does scare. Like this lineup, any major league bat scares you, and there's not a ton of them. And then Chisholm is just so goddamn cool, and he's good for one cool thing a series at least. So having those three guys out of our mind. Again, Brian De La Cruz is in the lineup. So they're like the injury gods couldn't do much, too much. Phil said we found the old voodoo doll the Braves have been using. I'll take De La Cruz out for the next series whenever we face him tonight. if you're not going to hit Alcantara, you have to score runs in the gap between Alcantara and Anthony Bass. That is our window right there. It's a very small window, but we need to get like 2 to 3 runs in that window, and I'll be fine going on from there on out. I don't even know how Bassett's done against the Marlins this year. I just feel like as long as Max is in the dugout, Bassett's fine. It may not make a lick of sense. That's not some advanced analytics or sabermetrics there. That's just how I feel with the Seabass when he has it there. Naquin's in the clubhouse. I think they said he was available, right?
Yeah, he's on the team and everything. He's there.
Beautiful.
And you know who else is there? Jacob deGrom, who's slated to start in DC.
Slated to start in DC. I believe it's lining up to potentially be our watch party. So Tuesday night, Blue Haven East, 7:00. Coors Light's going to sponsor. We're going to have a bunch of free stuff to give away. They have
be there for the first 5 minutes. Coors Light double tap, 5 minutes of fury. They play Thunder. They hand out tons of beer. It's a great time.
That was awesome. There's some things I guess have been started since I was in college, and playing Thunderstruck, and they just pour as many beers into draft cups and give them out to people, and you just keep hammering them down. That was something that wasn't there when I was in college, and I'll tell you, I fucking love it, man. That was an absolute blast, and people were going crazy every ball and strike, and granted, that was a Braves game, but with Jake coming back, man, just being with the whole community, and it's going to be an hour after the trade deadline. The trade deadline's at 6 p.m. this year on the 2nd, so everything's a little later. So this could be a celebration of a night, boys. It could be a real special one. May and McCann may be back next week as well, it sounds like. So the July resupply, Tyler McGill, they're saying, Buck said if he comes back or when he comes back, he's going to be in the bullpen. I fucking love that. 100-mile-per-hour guy, hopefully keep some wear and tear off his arm if he's healthy. It's all coming together, fellas. It's all coming together right now. I don't know if McGill could, I could trust him with the 8th inning because he's not that guy. He's never been that guy. But I will gladly take him in a big spot where we just need someone just to shove it down the opposition's throat there. So all in all, and Dom is starting a rehab assignment, I believe. And Phil said for the Cubs. So.
Don't know what team he's starting his rehab for, but he's starting a rehab assignment next week.
Yep. And then.
Could be for the Iowa Cubs. It could be for the Woo Sox. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be for us.
The beautiful thing is that the Red Sox and the Cubs apparently both like Dom, and we like 2 of their rental bats. So I think this could definitely be a thing that works for everyone involved. Jason tweeted this, or put this in the chat earlier. Aunt Mary said that we are good and Alcantara has a bad birthday. I love Aunt Mary. Aunt Mary, I've noticed she hits on her predictions more when she tells me that they are fiery people. They fear red, and there's no red in the jerseys. Aunt Mary just tells me bad birthday. I need to hear a little more than this, Aunt Mary. You need to give me like what you're seeing in the zodiac, what the crystal ball is telling you. I need a little more than just bad birthdays. But I mean, I'll take the Mets money line based on that.
Speaking of signs, though, somebody said Aunt May reported that Alcantara would be up. That's a bad sign for us because we all know what happens to Aunt May.
Aunt May doesn't do well, man. She was the Uncle Ben route, so that's not very good. I mean, at this point, this series, next series, 2 out of 3, but like 5 out of 6. I want 5 out of 6. 4 out of 6 won't feel like a win. 5 out of 6, and then we have to face the Braves. And the big point is, if we can go in these games and just win comfortably, so by the time that Braves series comes around, our bullpen isn't just completely taxed. We're kind of using mop-up guys, not stretching our starters too long, and not having to use the greatest closer in Major League Baseball right now.
I was looking at the Braves schedule because at some point I'm like, okay, they have to go through like another tough stretch, and their tough stretch is just us, and then like occasionally Houston. Everybody else is kind of like they're going to be decimated by the time they get to the end of the season with their schedule for who they're playing. So we need to feast right now, boys. I want at least 5 out of 6. I think is pretty realistic. Us going against Alcantara tonight, and we have to kill the Nationals because everyone else kills the Nationals, and it can't just be us that's the outlier.
Yep, we got to take our free wins.
Seriously.
Take our free curly W's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll piss me off so much if Phil keeps telling me this is an expansion team, and then every night the Braves are up like 7-1 in like the 2nd inning, and I'm like, God damn it! Well, this is our time to feast. Which I remember our last series against the Nationals, I believe it was at Citi Field, and we were flying as high as we were all season because every night was just it was like a laugher. So it's like when you get those during a season with a pennant race, it always just feels 1,000 times better. Speaking of the Bravos, they face a Major League Baseball club tonight. The Arizona Diamondbacks, they have won 5 of 6. 2 of those 5 wins came against the aforementioned expansion team, Washington Nationals. However, they just swept the Giants, who are not the Giants that we thought they were going to be, but they at least are a major league team. So it's in Atlanta. I thought it was in Arizona for some reason. We got the Mad Bum on the mound tonight against Kyle Wright. So, I mean, at this point, whenever the Braves have to face a real team, there's a chance they're going to lose here. And
you know what happened the last time Madison Bumgarner pitched in Atlanta, right? He pitched a fake no-hitter for 7 innings.
The fake no-hitter. Yep. Fake, the New York Mets, fake no-hitters, fake sweeps, and now we got the Mad Bum down there doing his thing again. So, all things considered here, it's like this series, even with the injuries and stuff, I'm accustomed to fearing the worst with the Marlins. But if Alcantara was just the game 3 or even game 2, it just sucks game 1. You kind of just are on pins and needles. So let's get out there early against them, get some hits. Does the lineup out?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, lineup's out. It's normal lineup.
Vogelbach batting 5.
Yeah.
Hasn't had like a big game yet. I'm feeling like the fat guy's going to come through against like the ace because it's just, I don't know, it's set up to work that way.
Also, shame on whoever made the schedule to give us a Monday and Thursday off right after the All-Star break. I feel like we had barely played.
And then we don't have a day off for 17 straight or something like that. Yeah. And we have those 5 games in 4 days against the Bravos, which, by the way, we're going to plug that as well. Barstool at the Ballpark, Saturday, August 6th, game 2 of the doubleheader. It's a day-night split admission doubleheader. Game 2, $100. All you can drink beer for 3 hours or till the 7th inning. $18 food voucher, ticket to a goddamn game that's going to be a zoo, and it's Jacob deGrom strikeout counter bobblehead night. So the hits keep on coming, the great giveaways keep on coming. We're going to be there. It's going to be fun. I don't know if the tickets will last the week. We'll see. I know we sold out pretty early with some of the other ones, and I know we sold out at the end for the the Padres of that goddamn game. So here's the lineup for tonight: Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, Alonso, Vogelbach, McNeil, Canna, Guillorme, Nito. All Guillorme at third. That is just a sight for sore eyes. I want Guillorme at third against righties for the rest of the season.
We finally recognized that Eduardo Escobar, it's better just to have him face lefties. Yep. Perfectly fine.
Yeah, they're telling me on the ESPN broadcast about the different bats he uses, and I said just use the right-hand bats for now on in order because the left-handed bats do not treat you well. And not only do we have a series down in Miami, we got the new boys coming in. Everything is looking good. Everyone is feeling good. The fan base is about as united as it can get. Our boy Frank the Tank is even feeling good because that's what the Yankees do. They bring the fan base together. You know, when you're fighting an enemy together, you don't worry about the little stuff at home. And then our fearless leader himself tweets it out today. It's go time for the team. Let's keep the good vibes rolling this weekend. Uncle Stevie, that's the bosses. The boss is saying, let's keep the good vibes rolling this weekend. Do you think Uncle Stevie's heading down to Miami? I could see him going out there, little white pants, a little pastel shirt, have some fun.
Oh, you kidding me? He's taking like the mega yacht. He's probably going to get dropped off right in the back. He doesn't have to pay for a hotel.
Oh, man. I don't know if Steve's like this, or he might be. I haven't followed him before he became like our savior. But I'd love to just see him one of these days just pull a fuck you rich move, like just something crazy like that where he's just driving this mega yacht. Now that I think that we've gotten past the point where everyone was like, eat the rich. That was a big 2020-21 thing where the billionaire owner, it's just the Mets luck. Everyone had to hate all the rich people once we were getting bought by the rich buyer. But guess what? Me, you, Phil, everyone in this chat, we don't give a fuck about anything else. Uncle Stevie is our savior, the church of Cohentology. So, yeah, any predictions tonight or for the series? Meek, nothing? You got nothing for me?
I think we'll win the series. I hope we sweep them. I don't have anything besides that.
A Vogelbach home run.
Big Vogelbach game. That's my go-to. Also, did you see that the Islanders bought $50,000 worth of lottery tickets? They're going to give away if they win. They're going to share their winnings with all of their season ticket holders and then donate some of it. But I was like, Uncle Stevie could just give away $1 billion for season ticket holders. Now. Like, let's just do that promotion one night. Like, they'd sell out all the season tickets. He'd make back some of that money, and he'd get a ton of goodwill.
Oh, my God.
Could you imagine?
It should be like
just $1 million.
That's a great – I wonder if he could do that. If he's like, listen, everyone that goes to a game at Citi Field from now until the end of the season, I'm going to put like all those tickets in a fucking like little lottery machine, pick it out. If you have a ticket, you know, you have your stub or whatever electronic thing to verify it, you get your cut of the $1 billion that he could just give away, and he'd still be fucking fine. Wouldn't even notice it. Drop in the goddamn ocean. Unbelievable. Let's see. I'm gonna give we're gonna get to Alcantara tonight. I saw we were minus 120, so seeing that with the ace on the fucking bump is always a good feeling. We were minus 190 against the Yankees in game 2, I believe, which was crazy to see after all these years as Mets, and even with Herman on the mound. So I'll go. I guess we're gonna get to Alcantara again, get the W. Does anyone really I don't know if anyone on our team really hits him at all, right?
Maybe Lindor that one time he had a home run and he drove in a single versus him the other time, but
yeah,
no one really hit Sandy.
Yeah, no one exactly. That's why he's Sandy Alcantara. McNeil's 8 for 28, 286 average against him career, and then a lot of the stuff is 2 for 5, whatever.
I'm trying to think if it's a positive or negative that we're playing there. Like, they're gonna have the roof closed because it's gonna be hot. It could be like a situation where the ball is flying. You're not getting bogged down by the humidity. I'm trying to spin on this the best I can because he is so good.
He is so goddamn good. And I said it like I'm looking forward to the playoffs because that means we don't have to face Sandy Alcantara every single week. I'm sure we're going to face very good pitchers because they're on fucking playoff teams. However, they are not Sandy Alcantara. We're going to have to face better lineups than that. But we're not going to have to face Sandy Alcantara anymore, which is half the goddamn time you're in a game. And here's the Marlins lineup here. Going to need some help on these guys, Phil.
Okay, so our guy, Jesus Aguilar. He's the big bat. Bleday's their first round pick from 2019 or 2020, I think, that just got called up.
Okay.
Joey Wendell, he's the guy that can get traded. Avisail Garcia, he sucks. Brian De La Cruz, he kills us. Everyone else here is really a nobody.
I got Luke Williams. That's just a fake guy. That's like a country singer that's doing the concert after the game, and he just gets to play for the Marlins at second base because they're just trying to sell some tickets or something like that. Yeah. All right, so I like it. I'm Kyle. For the record, I'm happy they're in Miami. I kind of like the different backdrop. I don't feel like we haven't even been to Washington this year, even though I'm sure we have. It's just like those games are so forgettable. Other than that sweep where that was like, oh shit, this team is really starting to take. Yeah. I think we swept them before they went to the West Coast for that gauntlet. I feel like that was.
We opened the season at Washington with 4 games, and then we went there in May and took 2 out of 3. So
that's why he's meek fucking Phil. He could just fucking pull that shit out on the fucking command.
We go back to next week's our last series at DC. Coincidentally, it feels like we've never even played there.
And the rest of the time, as crazy as it sounds, every other Nationals game has been against the Braves when they haven't played us in those games. So It's just nice. We're playing them instead of the Braves. Braves have the Diamondbacks for 3. So, and it's funny. The Braves fans aren't really in the mentions anymore. I don't see them getting quote tweeted. I don't really hear anything going on. The Yankees fans, I don't hear it from them for a month. It's a goddamn beautiful thing. Other than when Kevin is battling with a WFAN host, which was outrageous, but that was thanks to Kyle there, that one. And listen, don't just besmirch someone working the late shift. That was the old, Steve Summers shift. Maybe not late.
The schmooze is good. The schmooze was perfect viewing and listening when you're driving home late at night. You're going home from college, whatever the road trip is. The schmooze wouldn't put you to sleep necessarily, but it was just like, what's Delilah? He was the Delilah of sports radio. It was perfection. This take is garbage. I don't care what anybody says. I actually have Yankee fans that are like, I'm ashamed. And then other ones are like, well, it is the 5th starter. I'm like, do you realize who our starters are? Like, why are you going to just besmirch your own guy who's been good for you?
And not only that, it's like, we just had the All-Star break. You had time to set your rotation. They willingly started Domingo Germán. They started both these guys versus the Astros.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've long stopped trying to figure out why the Yankees are doing what they're doing. Again, thank you, Aaron Boone, for making Eduardo Escobar bat from. I still don't know. Like they just had to have like no other arms, and maybe they were punting because there's no other reason you throw a lefty in against fucking Eduardo Escobar in that spot. It's Escobar, Nito, and then you worry about Nimmo to lead off at the top of the inning. Like,
they used their closer in the 8th inning. You're telling me they weren't trying?
He said that they were trying to punt in game 1 when they pinch hit with Joey Gallo. I'm like, you're not punting at that point. You're trying to score the run that ties the game.
Oh, that's what he said. I was just saying in general. I don't know anything about the Yankees anymore. Aroldis Chapman is their mop-up guy now, apparently, which is hilarious to see. Couldn't happen to a better person. Of course, I saw Aaron Judge hit his walk-off home run yesterday. Nice he can do it when it's not against real pitchers like we have. Who did they play yesterday?
The fake team. None of their players exist.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're all feeling good right now. Get down there, get healthy, get fat against bad teams. And if at this rate, if we we're all are on alert for trade emergency podcasts. If we want to know hit the Marlins, that would be cool. We'd hop on for that as well. Any kind of crazy shit that goes on with the Mets will be ready for you guys. So subscribe, and I'll see you after maybe the game, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. Gotta believe.